Today, Supervisor Leticia Perez pled not guilty to criminal conflict of interest charges.
If she is found guilty, Perez does not need to step down as supervisor. Eyewitness News reporter Kristen Powers looks at how this scandal impacts the public's trust. Kristen?
Now, Perez said it herself that all of these cannabis corruption claims are breaking the public's trust in the board. It even led her to announce she would no longer vote on pot-related issues. Now she's facing criminal charges, a case some of her constituents are watching very closely.
Supervisor Leticia Perez is facing 2 misdemeanor charges. The first one alleging a conflict of interest. The prosecution believes they can prove that Perez voted to bring the marijuana industry to Kern County, knowing she would gain financially from it. The second charge is for allegedly failing to disclose her investments and income back in 2016.
Ms. Perez is innocent. These allegations are unfounded. They're unsubstantiated. They cannot be proved.
Wednesday, defense attorney H.A. Sala showing up to court for Perez. They entered a plea of not guilty and squashed any speculation that they would seek a plea deal.
Absolutely not. We're looking for either a dismissal or an acquittal at trial.
Sala says they are ready to go to trial, calling this a, quote, bogus prosecution.
This is some of the weakest evidence I've ever seen. The witnesses reminds me of a clown truck.
Before we even got to this point, Perez knew the cannabis conflict was breaking the trust between her and her constituents, like Sherry Plott.
Any scandal with any public figure is going to be devastating to the trust, whether it's true or whether it's false.
If found guilty, Perez could face up to a year in jail, and there is nothing in the law that says she would need to give up her seat as supervisor.
If she did do something illegal knowingly, then I think she does need to step down. As a representative of the people, she's held to a higher standard.
To say that the supervisor has committed a crime is preposterous.
Even if Sala is right, people like Plott say the damage is done.
I think it would take a long time, for the dust to settle. But if she's found not guilty, there's still the problem with things like this is your character and personality has already been brought into question. And no matter what she's found guilty or innocent, that's still going to be in people's minds.
Next in this case, there will be a pre-trial conference that is scheduled for October 5th. Reporting in studio, I'm Kristen Powers, Eyewitness News. Back to you.
Thank you, Kristen. The big question now, of course, is how will Sala defend Perez? At times, he suggested the charges are discrimination.
Eyewitness News reporter Tim John shows us that Sala isn't consistent in that belief. Tim?
Yeah, Jeff and Rochelle, Sala is still calling the charges discrimination, but now he's saying it isn't racial or gender-based. The last time an elected official in Kern County was accused of attempting to influence the government decision was back in 2016 with Bakersfield City Councilman Bob Smith. His case was settled out of court, and he paid a $3,000 fine and was never charged. But this time around, Supervisor Leticia Perez faces the same allegations, but is being charged and faces jail time. Her lawyer says it's discrimination.
A Caucasian male who is politically popular was not prosecuted criminally for the same charge that Supervisor Perez is being accused of violating. What's that tell you? That
was yesterday. Today, Sala took a step back from those remarks.
We're not pulling a race card on this. There is, we believe, discriminatory prosecution, but I don't know where people are maintaining that it's a racial issue. I've never said that.
But again, yesterday, Sala said this.
A Caucasian male who...
Lisa Green's office told me today they will not comment on the ongoing case. Of course, we will follow this case as it unfolds.